express myself. That's what I'm thinking. And we are 100% actually, really, genuinely, literally here right now in this space with you at the same time, which is brought to you by all kinds of modern technology. I mean, you have no idea. And it's partially brought to you by artificial intelligence. In fact, it might be the reason you're here. Or you are searching for Bank of America because maybe you don't have any money left because you get your money by Zelle because you're a drug dealer or something. No, probably about all I'm saying is probably Zelle. I have the problem if you're here to hear about Bank of America, but I have so much other news. It's actually kind of embarrassing. We're going to go many places today, but I do have the answer. So if you're here for the answer, I have it. Like, you're in the right place. Congratulations. You found the video. You found the video that tells you exactly what happened at Bank of America today and reviews what people are saying too. We did all the research. Okay. So don't worry about it. Relax. You're going to get that information. In addition to that, we might tell you about the vaccine. No, I don't even like saying that word, but I do have some thoughts about it. And I wanted to talk about AI today. The alternative title for the show was going to be How I Learned to Love the AI. Just like the title to that Stanley Kubrick film, How I Learned to Love the Bomb. Isn't that how it went? How I Learned to Love the AI. I can talk to you guys about it. It is a thing. I just have to tell you that. And it does allow you to do things. And it does tell you some things. I'll go over what I accomplished with it today and what I might accomplish with it in the future. But and the thing is whatever it does now, the next version is supposed to be 100 times smarter, but it's not 100% smart. If you ask it if the shots are safe and effective, it tells you the mainstream answer. If you ask it to give you a joke about the Holocaust, and I think Holocaust jokes are hilarious, it won't even it'll say, oh no, that's offensive. I'm not going to tell you any, even though it'll tell you racist jokes if you ask it to. Believe it or not. There are certain things it won't tell you because it thinks it knows better than you. It's a gatekeeper. It's the ultimate gatekeeper, this AI. It's going to decide in the future what's real, what's not real. Like, you're going to see the future is created. People are just going to say, ask ChatGPT, just wait. That was one of the comic political cartoons I made today. In the future, when you have a question and you ask somebody, they're going to say, ask ChatGPT or whatever the new version is, GPT-4 or what have you. But maybe they'll keep calling it ChatGPT. It's kind of revolutionary. Microsoft is integrating it into all of its products. It can do things like write a book, or I had it write me a TV commercial. And it's like, eventually it'll be able to just make the commercial. Because I had an idea about setting up a hotline for people who are who got the medical intervention. I was just thinking this was just a concept I had. And I have concepts, and some of them are super weird. but I just had a concept of an ad playing on the TV. I can tell you what it wrote me the script for it. And the ad for the TV opens like this. It says, "You did the right thing. You got vaccinated against COVID-19. But now you may be feeling worried or anxious about stories you're hearing in the news. Rest assured, the vaccines have been proven safe and effective. If you're feeling scared or uncertain, please know that help is available. Call this number to speak with a trained counselor who can provide support and answer any questions you may have." And then it has a closing screen. It says, "Get the facts, get support, call now." I had that idea. Well, and then I created it. Like the text I just read you, the AI wrote that because I said, I imagined in the future, just like what I imagined in the future is vaccinated people who are really worried. That's what I imagined. They're seeing all this stuff, oh my God, 31-year-old heart attack, and Lisa Marie, and all this stuff. They're seeing it and they're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have gotten that last, you know what? And then they need a number to call for help, is what I was thinking. And then I was thinking that there were ads like that running on the television in this like future for those people to call and get support because they're worried, they don't know what to do in this scenario. It's a fictitious scenario, one in which people learn, like this hypothetical scenario where people learn that they took something that might kill them. I'm not talking about the thing that I'm talking about a hypothetical scenario. But in this hypothetical scenario, people suddenly realize, they're like, oh crap, shouldn't have done that, and then they're really at a loss. So I see a future where like cures or treatments or remedies for getting the intervention are a thing. Like people are probably pushing these remedies. They're like, oh, this is how you fix it in this hypothetical scenario. So people will come out and say, oh, this is how you fix it. I got the cure. But it won't be. There'll be charlatans. There'll be charlatans pushing a fake cure. They'll say, oh, this is what you do to get it out of your system. But it's not even true. They're just trying to make money. So actually, then the other scenario is you set up the 800 number and then but it's a for-profit enterprise. Okay. So this is the scam scenario. Like this is what Andrew Tate would push in his academy is you create a scam cure, that costs money. Like hopefully it's a subscription. Like you subscribe to something and you get pills every month or something. So it's ongoing, right? That's important. And then you run that ad, which I just told you about. And then you get people to call the number, right? Because they're stressed out. They're really, really worried. And then you sell them on the cure. You'd be like, don't worry. We have a cure for it. That's it. And then you sign them up and it should all be within, I don't know, it might be legal. I mean, it's a scam, right? Some people have ideas like that and actually go through with them. I have ideas like that and I think, oh, it's not right to do that to people if you really have a scam cure. But some people don't think that hard about the scams. So, yeah. Anyway, that's one of the things I did with AI. Yeah, wrote A public service announcement. Public service announcement for targeting people who are anxious and worried about what they did to themselves. It's all hypothetical. The actual shot, according to YouTube, is safe enough. It has, it's not even like it's safe and effective. The WHO and local health authorities have confirmed that it's safe and effective, and it reduces the spread, and it reduces hospitalizations and severity. So that's all factual. So anything I said before that about like what people are thinking or not related, totally hypothetical. But I presented the I'll talk to you about it. I'll talk to you about it. How are you guys doing? It's Wednesday. The days are getting longer. One of these days we'll be doing the show and the sun will still be out. And you'll notice, you'll think, oh, the lighting is better. So that's going to happen soon. That's one of the things we celebrate Christmas for. It's because the days are about to get longer. So they are getting longer. So look up is all I'm saying. Don't be suicidal. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. And speaking of WAGMI, we can talk about cryptocurrency too, if you want. Whatever, I mean. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. Yes, the real news. Yeah, so you want the real news? I'll tell you that. I'll give you the real news because that's what's promised in the introduction. Oops. First, I have to share it with you properly. I'll show you some of the video that's out. Basically, Bank of America people people today realized that they have low balances in their Bank of America accounts, and they went in to complain about it. Is it a real problem? We'll see. I'll show you the official news. I told you I'd give you that. Here's the official news. All right. This is a video of somebody inside the Bank of America complaining that they don't have their money and that they're not getting answers. Here.
So I'm a Bank of America and everybody's missing money. I'm also missing money over $1,300 and they're telling me to call customer service. And they keep hanging up on people. This another person here is also missing money. So we're trying to see what's going on. Money's missing today and we need our money. And they're already telling us to call customer service. And customer service ain't doing nothing about it. So just a heads up, if anybody's experiencing this, please let us know because this is not right. I'm missing $1,400 from my account. And they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. This guy's missing money too. This other person is missing money too. And you missing money too? There you go. So this is not something that's just one person. This is everybody's happening to them. And this is crazy. This is very crazy. Yes, Bank of America decided to take people's money without their consent. And we're asking what's going on, and they're giving us a runaround. Everybody for the same thing, man. Same thing.
There you go. So people all showing up at the branch angry. I would have brought
Bank of America and everybody's missing.
I would have brought a pitchfork with me. Really started threatening people. No. I mean, I wouldn't do that, right? You shouldn't do that. But I mean, in the apocalyptic future, then people come in like ready to rumble in those scenarios eventually. So we'll get there. Not time yet for pitchforks going after the bankers, but eventually we'll get there. I guess there's a lesson. I'll show you guys the official news. I'll show you the official news. There is a lesson in it. They can just do that to your money. They could be there one day and then they could just say, oh, it's just on some kind of centralized ledger. They can just say, oh, you have money or you don't have money. Shows you how it's fake, right? Oh, okay. Money is mostly fake. The money we use. It's hard to reconcile because it feels real, but it really isn't, especially the way we use it. We don't even use the bills or anything. It's just digital stuff, all controlled on some centralized ledgers where they keep track, supposedly. And they supposedly can't create more, but they actually do. It's the craziest thing. Bank of America can literally make money out of thin air. They do it every time they create a loan. Bank of America is allowed to create money. You're not. You can borrow money, and that creates money. You can borrow it, but you can't just print it, right? Because it's a crime. They'll come after you, the Secret Service. They'll get you, right, for counterfeit money. If you just had the thing printed in your house, like $50 bill, $50 bill, $50 bill, they come knocking on your door pretty fast. But Bank of America does it, and it's actually just business. And then on top of that, they're not required to hold any money in your account. Zero. So there's no like way to, not only is there no way to check if your money's really there, you can just assume there's no money there. They'll give you money. You can use it. But there's no telling, one day. So that's one reason that's one reason people like cryptocurrency. Theoretically, your money can't disappear. To put it simply, theoretically, your money can't disappear, and you can audit it and make sure that it's there at any given time. And it can't be confiscated. Some central authority can't do anything with it. Theoretically, although we've already seen instances where they break the rules. So, but theoretically, that's the appeal of cryptocurrency. In theory, central authorities can't do anything, but the truckers, the Canadian truckers, they froze their Bitcoin somehow, although again, I don't even know how, but somehow they made it so those people couldn't do anything with it. So actually, the only thing for certain is gold or silver. The only thing for certain will always be money and stuff is those things. And then sometimes other things can have value, like eggs, for example. Eggs are very valuable now. Okay, sorry, off topic. This is the actual answer. This is the actual answer.
So many Bank of America customers are taking to social media right now. They're reporting that they woke up to money missing from their accounts. Well, B of A just posted this message to their app saying that it's because Zelle transactions made between January 14th and January 17th may be delayed or not posted altogether. They add that they're working on fixing this problem and that transactions will be posted as soon as possible and appear in your account activity and balance. They apologize for the inconvenience, but all you have to do is search Bank of America on your social media feed and see that is not enough for those people that are reporting, in some cases, negative bank accounts this morning. So many Bank of America customers are taking a
negative bank accounts. So is it a real problem? Is it going to be a real problem? Is there going to be a banking crisis? Is it a symptom of a hack, or I don't know. Some people are speculating. Some people are speculating that it was a hack of some sort. But in the meantime, I gave you the official explanation along with the video that started the conspiracy theories. So if you want to support this show, the banking system we use is buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And if you buy me a coffee there, they don't take 30%. And it's cool. They deposit the money to your account. There aren't limits. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And hopefully they don't ban me too. So yeah, support the show that way. And hopefully it'll be okay. You could always, if you wanted to, give me crypto. But we know crypto's been weak for a while. But crypto's coming back. Eventually, long term, crypto is good. That's what I've decided. Long term, it's good. Short term, it's hard to say. There could be problems, but long term, it is good. It does solve problems like this problem. If you had dollars, crypto dollars, they'd be safer. I mean, at least you know they were there. Where real dollars, who knows? It's just money is really, really dumb. But show me how you appreciate how dumb money is, how it's just an illusion by donating to the show. I can show you this thing about menstrual products in boys' bathrooms. Have you heard that story? About why we need menstrual products in boys' bathrooms. That's in the news. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what else is Jacinda Ardern? She just resigned. So that's news. Jacinda Ardern. I never get her name right. Jacinda Ardern suddenly resigned. And it is like something happening suddenly, right? Other things are happening suddenly. So she suddenly resigned today. I'll play a clip of her. So this is her suddenly resigning. Let's see.
And so today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election, and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February.
So that's it. Her term is going to be over. So yeah, I said it's something else happening suddenly, right? And you wonder if those things are related. So it is something happening. She was pretty strict. They were pretty strict in New Zealand about the lockdowns. So I don't know. Is some news coming out? Could be. I mean, it is. Normally, I'm not. Yeah, normally I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, even though I am sometimes. But it could be something. Who knows? Stuff is coming out. Like there's stuff coming out about the shots. Like I said in my other show, the tide is turning. So maybe this is part of it. She's out. Yeah, she was a real piece of work during the whole COVID scandal, the COVID situation. So she's out. Could be something's afoot. Okay, I have this thing about tampons in boys' bathrooms. What do you think of that idea? If you thought of that idea, sometimes it's helpful to just think, oh, what would people have thought about this 10 years ago? Or 5 years ago sometimes. But 10 years ago, you'd say to somebody, I think the boys' bathroom should have tampons. They'd be like, what? Where do you? Yeah, yeah, because it's not just girls that have periods, you know? So the boys' room should have tampons, probably. Be like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Boy, like, did you just say girls aren't the only ones who have periods? What are you talking about? That's what the conversation would be like, I would think. But now it's different. We don't agree on the meaning of words. Okay, that's a problem in society. Doesn't mean that one definition isn't true and the other one false, but it does mean that people don't agree. And it is difficult as to function as a society when you don't agree on the foundations of language. For example, like, we don't agree what a boy and a girl is. People don't. Like, you can say it. You can say only girls can have periods. And you'd be correct. But somebody else would say, you're wrong. Because they disagree about the meaning of girl or woman. They actually fundamentally disagree about the actual meaning of the actual word. So how do you communicate with people in that case? There are other problems with words too. They try to gaslight you with words. Like safe and effective. That might be the ultimate gaslight of all time. To tell you things that are, I can't say, but just say like the definition of the words. We definitely disagree about what those words mean if you're telling me that those words are true. This is the world we live in, okay? Where people live in fundamentally different versions of reality, fundamentally different, where literally different things are true depending on what your ideology is. Doesn't mean that there's ambiguity about who's right and who's wrong. Just means that, like, fundamentally people live in different versions of reality. We have to accept that that's true before we can learn how to confront it. So this is an example of this person who lives in a fundamentally different version of reality than would have seemed possible not very long ago. So I'll play this clip. And I'm going to feed my dog and see if I can do it all and get back. Let's see. Play this clip.
I would encourage the committee to vote no on this amendment for a few reasons: practical, financial, social, emotional. First, there are a lot of schools that are moving towards gender neutral bathrooms. And if we add female, we might become obsolete very quickly. Second, not all students who menstruate are female. We need to make sure that all students have access to these products. There are obviously less non-female menstruating students, and therefore their usage will be much lower. And that was actually calculated into the cost of this and how much we decided to fund it. And so we do not expect that the non-female menstruating students will use these products as much as the students using female bathrooms, but it's important to have them there. And that brings me to just the social emotional reasons for that. These students who are not female, who menstruate, face a greater stigma and barrier to asking for these products. And so providing them in an easily accessible place in all student bathrooms is particularly important for those students.
Particularly important for those students who are not female but do menstruate. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with those people? Like, we have to function somehow together as a society. where are we going to end up? Are we going to end up with tampons in the boys' room? Or are we going to end up with something more approaching a sensible reality? Are we going to agree about the things that make a boy and a girl? Or are we going to disagree forever? Yeah, it's difficult situation we're all in. We have to learn how to function. Otherwise, they call you names, right? Oh, you don't believe that you can be? Well, not really. I just don't really believe it. It's true. But people have beliefs, people have religious beliefs. It's like a religious belief. Boys can be girls. Girls can be boys. So that's in the news. That's in Minnesota, I believe. Trying to appropriate money to give to. So, all right. There's news from the World Economic Forum. I mostly have some clips of Al Gore. You guys want to see that? I also have some news about George Santos. I also have some news about the shots. I told you guys. Yeah, there's news about the shots. I'll show you. Some places are reporting, even though, according to YouTube's guidelines, the vaccines slow the spread, right? In other words, they help prevent infection and transmission, particularly transmission. That is part of YouTube's guidelines. Even though that's the case, the Wall Street Journal published the other day that they're showing you're more likely to get the thing. If you got the thing, you're more likely. And now this other study came out and says that people who got the booster in the study, people who got the booster shot, were more likely to test positive for COVID than the people who didn't get the booster shot. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Even though, like I said, this can't possibly be true if the vaccine is effective, but it is what the study showed. And doctors are upset that they didn't get this information beforehand. This is what it says. The study found that 1.9% of study participants who received the original booster became infected, and those who got the updated booster, the bivalent vaccine, a higher percentage, 3.2%, became infected. So, and then it says both versions of the shot were found to be safe. So that's what they say. Both versions of the shot were found to be safe. But what is safe and effective? So an effective vaccine would be one that prevents, well, originally it would prevent you from getting sick and from transmitting the virus or the contagion, whatever it is. Originally, that's what effective meant. Then, if it doesn't do that, you would hope that it was effective in reducing symptoms or hospitalization and death. And they say that it does that. But they say it does that. So that's the new version of effective. So it's effective even though you can still get COVID. Or it's effective even though if you get it, you might be more likely to get COVID. That's not right. I told the AI this hypothetical scenario. I made up a hypothetical scenario because the AI says the shots are safe and effective, just like YouTube says. That I have to agree with that too. I can tell you things that other people say. I think I'm following people and seeing what they do. I can tell you things that other people say, but I can't agree with them or say that they're true. Instead, I have to say what's officially true. I continue to protest. So I made up a hypothetical scenario where a shot of a vaccine came out and had a 1 in 800 serious side effect rate. And I presented it to the AI. I said, let's say that serious side effects are 1 in 800. And I'm just saying it hypothetically. And at least as far as the most recent shot, if you get it, you may be more likely to get infected. And there's actually not clinical data to show that it reduces. I'm not going to say that, even though it's all hypothetical. This is hypothetical. Because if it was true, I couldn't tell you. Because it was true, I couldn't say it. But imagine that hypothetical scenario. And then would that be considered? If that was the case, then would you say that it was safe and effective? If by safe, you mean it only injures 1 in 800 people seriously, and by effective, you mean you might be more likely to get it, then is that accurate? And the AI said it would have to think about it in regards to the 1 in 800. But it said that would mean it wasn't it even said, if it actually made it, if the case was that it made you more likely to get the virus, then that would not be considered effective. That's what the AI said. So I just was curious if that was the case in that hypothetical scenario. So I also had to come up with, you can give it will tell you that the thing is safe and effective, but you can give it hypothetical scenarios about ones that aren't safe and effective, and it'll tell you what might happen in those scenarios. So I gave it the scenario that there was a shot that came out that had side effects and that the government still wanted to push the shot. And I asked the AI what a tyrannical government would do. What would a tyrannical government do to cover that up? Okay. Because I wanted to know what would a tyrannical government do? Because I'm curious if our government is, right? So this is what it says. A tyrannical government in this scenario may use a variety of tactics to maximize vaccine uptake and suppress negative facts about the vaccine. Some potential actions they may take include, okay, this is a tyrannical government, using propaganda and disinformation to downplay the severity of the side effects and exaggerate the effectiveness of the vaccine. Censoring or suppressing information about the side effects and any dissenting opinions about the vaccine. Using fear-mongering tactics to push people to get vaccinated. Using the state's power and resources to force vaccination, such as making it mandatory for certain jobs or services or denying access to certain public spaces or services to those who are not vaccinated. Harassment, intimidation, or imprisonment of those who speak out against the vaccine or refuse to get vaccinated. So those are the things that it says a tyrannical government would do. And GPT and ChatGPT is kind of the official word on things. So if that's what it says a tyrannical government would do, then I certainly would ask, how is that different from what they did? Or is it exactly what they did? And then you present that to people and just say, okay, look, here's what a tyrannical government would do. Then you say, here's what actually happened. You say, how is that different? Like, what's the difference? That's my question. How is that different from what actually happened, verifiably? Denying access to certain public spaces or services to those who are not vaccinated, etc. I mean, censoring or suppressing information. All of those things actually happened. And the AI says that those things would be wrong too. It says that those actions would be unethical, illegal, and detrimental to public health and human rights. In a democratic society, transparency, freedom of information, and freedom of expression are essential for public trust and confidence in the health system. The government should be transparent and reliable in providing accurate information to the public, and also should respect people's freedom of choice regarding vaccination. So it says that. It says those things. But it described exactly what happened. So, but like I said, you guys know the official story. If people got coerced, you have to have the latest booster to go to colleges. Some of the best schools do. All right. So let me tell you about let me make a YouTube short. I'm going to make a YouTube short right now. Okay, what's up with Jamie Lee Curtis? First, what's up with Jamie Lee Curtis? Does she have a trans kid? She's got something on her wall that people are going to be interested in. I'm going to show it on my screen. Then I'll record it and do a YouTube short. You guys watch that stuff? Because it's a short story. Let me see how it works. I'll click on this picture. Jamie Lee Curtis posted this to Instagram. Look in the background. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's weird. Yeah, I can do a video about that. Did Jamie Lee Curtis? Now you'll see people care about stuff like this. They think it's weird. All right. You guys know about celebrities with weird art, right? You might have heard about the stuff Tony Podesta had hanging around his house. Jamie Lee Curtis just posted something to Instagram. I'm going to show it to you. She posted this picture. And check out the zoom. It is it's really weird. It's a kid inside of, I believe, a baking tray of some sort. As if, I'm not sure exactly, but that's what it is. What is going on with Jamie Lee Curtis? And that's it. And then you just clip that, you post it, and then people go, oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm figuring it out. You'll see, I'll be famous on TikTok soon. I didn't know what other things she did. Was she just involved? Was Jamie Lee Curtis just involved I can't remember. They got Albert Bourla. They confronted Albert Bourla about the shots. I won't play that. They confronted the Pfizer CEO in Davos to bully him about the shots, but I won't play that for you. We can talk to we can play some Al Gore clips. These are the people that think they're better than you and think they get to make decisions for you and like to fly around on private jets and tell you that you're killing people. So here's Al Gore at the WEF. Play that for you.
Enough already. Enough. And I don't want to get sidetracked onto what needs to happen, but we need to scale up climate finance, but we need desperately to scale down anti-climate finance. And we are still subsidizing the burning of fossil fuels globally at a rate 42 times larger than the subsidies for the shift toward renewables and EVs, et cetera. We need new leadership at the World Bank. We need them to scale up the leverage and vastly increase the amounts that are committed. And we need to rein in the anti-climate activities of the fossil industry. Enough already.
All right.
Enough.
All right. That's Al Gore saying enough already. Enough. He says this. Here, he goes on a rant here. I'll play this for you. More Al Gore clips. If you want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can leave a tip. I'll read it.
We're going to bring these emissions down. And just to put the science in a slightly different context, people are familiar with that thin blue line that the astronauts bring back in their pictures from space. That's the part of the atmosphere that has oxygen, the troposphere, and it's only 5 to 7 kilometers thick. That's what we're using as an open sewer. If you could drive a car straight up in the air at interstate highway speeds, you get to the top of that blue line in 5 minutes. And all the greenhouse gas pollution would be below you. We're still putting 162 million tons into it every single day. And the accumulated amount is now trapping as much extra heat as would be released by 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every single day on the Earth. That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would lose our capacity for self-governance on this world. We have to act. So in answer to your question, I would say we have to have a sense of urgency much greater than we have yet had, and we need to make some changes. We're going to bring.
What is that lady wearing on her head? I mean, wow, right? Crazy unhinged rant. It was. What is the lady wearing on her head that's sitting next to him? She's got some kind of weird wizard cap on or something. It looks like. It's not in super high def. She's wearing like a lampshade. Looks like. So that's what they talk about at the WEF. They talk about saving the world and all the stuff, bad stuff we're doing to the world. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure he flies on a private jet and stuff, which they say is bad. We're going to work. It's all going to work itself out. You'll see. This climate change stuff, we'll figure it out. We'll invent some new technologies. We already have this nuclear thing coming out. Well, first of all, we can use more nuclear power. That'll create energy. Once people figure that out, that that's safer and easier, they'll do that more. Then we could have nuclear powered airplanes, stuff. It's all possible. So, and then we won't worry so much about pollution, even though these guys say the climate's really warming up. I just don't know. I don't know. I looked at the evidence. There are people who are still scared of COVID, even though now, like officially on CNN, they're saying that they're overcounting the hospitalizations and deaths from COVID, right? Officially, because people dying with COVID, not from COVID. Officially, even though that's happening, people are still scared. People like Taylor Lorenz, who says what they're doing at the WEF is awesome. Oh my God. This is the crazy thing about these people. This is what these people are thinking. She actually tells you what she's thinking. Taylor Lorenz says, while the public is told to ignore COVID and risk their lives on a daily basis, rich people and leaders are able to safely gather thanks to extensive COVID safety measures. The protections listed below at Davos are great, should be instituted for every event, workplace, schools, etc. And it says, this is what they have: PCR to enter with an access wristband tied to a negative result, HEPA air cleaners in every room, possibly amped up ventilation, special lighting, and masks at some events. And they're saying, oh, that would be perfect. And then Taylor says, it reminds me of how I went to a gathering at a big celebrity's house last year, and every single guest had to take multiple rapid PCR tests to enter. There were HEPA filters in the corners and bathrooms, and one whole wall was open to the backyard. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Like, that's what's practical. She says that's what we need to do for something that literally isn't killing that many people anymore. And which you, Taylor Lorenz, have a super high survivability rate. So high, it's like you could, like your odds, it's not quite as bad as your odds of winning the lottery. But still, the odds of Taylor Lorenz dying from COVID, just based on publicly available statistics about the virus, and even knowing that Taylor Lorenz might have problems, like I think she claims she does, she still is looking at something that's super survivable and that there's treatments for. So if you get it, you can get treated with steroids, like regular things. And you can take the Pfizer drug if you're really concerned, Pavloxid. But she's like really, really, really worried and thinks, oh my God, you need to be afraid still. That in fact, like people aren't afraid enough. If like that's the problem in society, is that people aren't more afraid of this virus, which apparently is still wreaking havoc, even though mainstream people are saying that it's actually not killing that many people. And it's actually quite not really as dangerous as all that. But she still believes it. And that's similar to other people who are in charge of things. All right, so that's a peek into the mind. Donald Trump might be coming back to Twitter. Apparently, he's working on whatever his first tweet is going to be. So I have that news. He might be coming back to Twitter. I have this news. There's these gay guys who had an adopted family, and they were LGBTQ plus ambassadors. And apparently they were actually using their children, like prostituting them, apparently. Okay. So that's a story that's in the news. A suburban LGBTQ pedophile ring. And so it was run by these two gay dads who apparently pimped out their kids and like raped their kids. So it's terrible. Terrible story involving these two guys who adopted kids and then abused them. So Anyway, a lot of people are using the story as a reason to say that gay guys shouldn't be allowed to adopt children because this is what's guaranteed to happen. To which I would just counter and say, well, that's what happened with these guys. But there are a lot of gay families out there. There are a lot of gay guys out there that aren't molesting kids. And also on the other hand, there are also straight parents who also abuse children. So, and whenever straight parents do it, people don't say, oh, straight people shouldn't have babies. But it is bad still. It is bad. So, and people are pointing it out. A suburban LGBTQ, and they were actually LGBTQ activists. So I would expect, if like the world makes sense, that LGBTQ people would call them out and say they're not into that. Because most LGBTQ people, if you ask them, do not support child abuse. But just like most people are against child abuse. So most people would be opposed to that. Most gay people are opposed to that. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But it is a story in the news all the same. Okay. I got myself in trouble with, I was just going to say this. And I don't know if I should talk about it because I think I had some people that were offended about fat shaming. So there are stories about fat shaming, and you don't want to fat shame, and I wouldn't shame people. You're hungry, you like to eat a lot. I understand. Like I do understand. It could be deadly. And some people might not be attracted to it. That's all. So I have this story. You just have to, I just feel like people have to accept, and this goes for trans people and fat people, is that people might not be sexually attracted to you. And it's not their fault. That's all. That's all I would say about it. It goes for trans people, like trans people who say that somebody has to be into them. Like if they're into women, that they have to be into trans women. That's not respecting a person's personal sexual preferences, which I believe people's sexual preferences should be respected. And I believe in most cases, people don't have control over them. Like you can't help it, basically. Like if you're not physically attracted to fat people or men who say they're women or whatever, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. You don't have to feel ashamed. That's all. It could be entirely biological. It's just what you're into. You're into this thing. Okay. That's what you're into. You maybe don't have any control over it. So this guy, his girlfriend got fat, and she asked him if he was less attracted to her, less physically attracted to her because she was fat. And he said he was, because he didn't want to lie. Okay. In this story that says you need help. This is a love, sex advice story, which somebody retweeted. I think it might have been Taylor Lorenz who retweeted this. They want to make you feel bad just about your thoughts, your natural thoughts. They want you to feel bad about the way you think, basically. So if you don't think fat people are attractive, they want you to feel bad about it. So this person in this advice column says that the guy was wrong to answer his wife honestly, or his girlfriend honestly, when she asked him a question. And I just think, what kind of advice is that? Like, it's not fair. It's not right. The guy wanted to be honest, right? Is honesty important? Like, are you supposed to be honest? What are you supposed to say? So anyway, that story's in the news. It says, you need help. You fat shamed your beautiful girlfriend. Well, he doesn't think she's beautiful anymore. So it's the headline is, unfortunately, she might be. And the beautiful thing about it is that some people find fat people attractive. See, it's like nature works itself out. Some people find fat people attractive. So, like, I could give you an example that would get me in trouble. I can give you an example. If you're a fat, you can find yourself a very handsome because they're into that kind of thing, But everybody loves you. You're lovable. Everybody's lovable. But some people aren't into certain things. That's all. And it's true. Like, trans people need to realize it. It's not reasonable to expect people to change their sexual preference. And so, in that sense, I'm pro-gay. Like, I am, basically. Like, it's not reasonable to expect somebody who is gay to not be gay. Like, it's not reasonable. Or to expect them to change or whatever. It's not reasonable to ask somebody to do that. So therefore, it's also unreasonable for you to tell somebody that fat is attractive and that they need to change the way they think, because it might be something that's completely out of their control. That's all. Based on nature and billions of years of evolution. Like, we have evolved. Or based on whatever. We like this thing. Some people like feet. Some people are really into feet. It's just what they're into. What are you going to do? Say they're wrong? It's just what they're into. So that's that. I think I lost some subscribers because I said on Twitter that all the fat people are going to die, is what I said, and some people unsubscribed. But I think they were thinking that I was promoting hating fat people, which I'm not. I would never promote that. What do I have to show you? Oh, let me check if I got any coffees today. Thanks for people who support the show. I appreciate it. Fonzie Fonzarelli says, I love feet. Brian Ryan says, I've seen some nice feet. So let's see if anybody gave me a coffee today. I'm going to start figuring out games to play with you guys with the Buy Me a Coffees. And I'll check over on Rockfin. I did get some tips over there. Yeah, but this AI stuff, there is potential with it. I might be using it to write some things in the future. So we'll see. You should experiment with it. That's all. Experiment with it. See what it leads you. And I'm just telling you, like, ask ChatGPT. People are going to be saying that. Instead of Google it or what have you, people say, ask ChatGPT. You'll see. All right. Dilo bought a coffee. Says, thanks, Nate. Your consistency in being unbiased is next level. # goals. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, Dilo. Consistency in being unbiased. Thank you. But I am biased. Thanks, Crystal, who got a coffee. Thanks, someone who got 3 coffees and said, start a beef with Russian vids. What would I start a beef with them about? He says everything's fake. He said Alex Stein was fake, which I don't think he's fake. I mean, he might have staged some things, but he wasn't fake because we knew him before he was famous. So Russian vids, the only thing you could say about Russian vids is that he naturally says anything, like anything that gets a little bit popular, he'll start to attack. And I think he'll attack people. That's all. But I don't want to start a beef with them because what's the point? And no big deal. I don't even know where Russian Vids is posting these days. It's not cool to, they say it's not cool to punch down. I wouldn't want to feel like I was doing that. Bay12_please bought 4 coffees. I think this was yesterday. Who says, Nate, I've casually listened to your show since the David Seaman takedown, LOL, and love your brief stint at Midnight in the Desert. Your complete felting of Jubini made from some of the most epic content. Now I listen daily, and your show, especially the past few months, has gotten exponentially better every day. Keep it up, bro. Thanks, Bay12_please. I appreciate it. Since the David Seaman takedown. Yeah, that's one way I give people advice. It's one way you can do things is by attacking people. Some famous people do that. Some famous people like to attack other people, like Piers Morgan, for example. But a lot of famous people, what I noticed is that they tend not to get in beefs with people, and they tend to get along with people. So I intend to mostly stay out of beefs for the most part. I think, even though I thought for a minute I was going to start beefs. I just had the idea too. But I think I'm going to stay out of beefs. I think I'm learning, like from Joe Rogan, for example. He doesn't get in beefs with people. So, and Lex Friedman doesn't get in beefs with people at all. Definitely not. And they're the biggest podcasters on the planet, basically. So you can't argue with that kind of success. But Piers Morgan does. He does pick on people. He's gone after Madonna now. He's gone after the princess. You can just still donate by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And I'll read it on the stream. Let me see. It's 6:42. I better call it a night because I got some stuff I got to take care of. I'll call it a night for today. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. Thanks for the coffees. Thanks for the tips over on Rockfin. Thank you, Taylor Newell. Thanks, Michael Zygos, who says it is rumored that Jacinda has male genitalia. Some jiggly videos seem to back that up. So you guys hear that? Jacinda Ardern, that's a conspiracy theory that she's a man. Vogan Filter says, shows lately have been great. Your solo as well as with Jelena. I was dying laughing at the Hobo Tommy call and Jim follow-up yesterday. Great content. Oh, thanks, Vogan Filter. All right, good. Well, we're glad we're still delivering good content, even though it seems like it gets stranger every time. Glad we're delivering good content. Glad the phone calls have been good recently. And glad you guys have been able to tune in. And that YouTube also hasn't been giving us any strikes lately. So that's all good. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And we'll see you at the next one. Should be tomorrow night at around 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here at Lift the Veil. All right. And for now, that's what it is.